on Funniest Pets and People, a dog you can't tire out. A hamster gets run down. A girl flutes with her snoot. A bird who's a real handful. A bunny gets busy. And a girl with a bruised ego. It's the show that will have you sit, stay, laugh, and beg for more. Welcome to Funniest Pets and People. It's the best aisle in the supermarket and the best clip collection on the show. It's toys. Jankers could always be counted on to find Old Man McCrimmon's glasses when he misplaced them. He just wasn't strong enough to bring them to him. You know, life would be easier on both of them if Old Man McCrimmon went ahead and got contact lenses. At least when he misplaced those, Jankers could pick them up. Shh, don't tell them. They think it's a toy broom and they are playing house. But it's a real broom, and they are cleaning the house. Now all Mom has to do is convince them that the dishwasher is a toy, too. You know, sometimes you have to compromise when you play. Lucan's owners gave him a choice. He could either have a real swimming pool and pretend he had an inner tube, or he could have a real inner tube and pretend there was a swimming pool. Lucan chose the real inner tube. Lucan knows you should always leave yourself something to wish for. Yes, sir, that's him, ladies and gentlemen. World Fetch Champion Sir Miles of Beaumont. Sir Miles became champ by fetching the largest sticks in the world. He now only fetches sticks that require 2 men to pick them up. The only problem is they can't throw them very far. Sir Miles knows that you don't become world champ by fetching twigs. Oh, no, sir. If you want people to remember you, you have to go get some serious lumber. Sir Miles, we salute you. Technology really is amazing. Why, it's given us mechanical dogs that can bark, walk, snore, and even fetch. But Barney here is proving that no matter how far technology has come, it will never be able to duplicate enthusiasm, passion, and tenacity. Come on, relax, Barney. It's just a toy. You're still king dog around here, and always will be. Okay, if it is true that a penny saved is a penny earned, then Petey here is earning double time with this coin. Because not only is he saving it, but he's also doing a good job just picking it up. I mean, come on, that's like you or me picking up a manhole cover. Yes, it is true that catnip fresh in sneakers is pretty comfortable to walk on and is a homeopathic, all-natural cure for athlete's foot and dry skin. The only problem is getting your shoes away from a cat. Still, it's a small price to pay for great comfort and awesome aromatherapy. Yes, they will forget all about regular camp. Rather than play ball all summer or while away the vacation months with canoeing, leathercraft, and archery, wouldn't your boys rather attend Svetlana Poitori's Runway Model Camp? What little boy doesn't dream of wearing top designer duds and walking the runway with the style and aplomb of a superstar? At Svetlana Poitori's, they'll learn strutting, posing, pouting, and much, much more. Enrollment is limited, so call today and reserve a place for your child. If you don't, they just might get stuck having fun at Camp Minnetonka-Wankashire. Svetlana Poitori's Runway Model Camp. For the summer, for your life. From the depths of the deepest valley to the tops of the highest peaks. Let me say it loud, let me say it proud. Look what I can do! Stoney wasn't just a prop in this magic act. He was the brains behind the operation as well. Yeah, Bob was the front man, but Stoney called all the shots. This act needed a little shaking up. See, Stoney knew every magician pulled a rabbit out of his hat. But what if Bob pulled Stoney out of his shirt pocket? That'd get him talking at the castle. Stoney simply needed to empty the pocket first. Of course, that was a trick unto itself. When birds begin premature male pattern molting, they have two options. Do the old feather comb-over, which really doesn't fool anyone, by the way, or make the feather plugs. Sure, they look pretty good now, but let's see them fly. That is the test. Gloria takes extra vitamin C, iron supplements, antihistamines, and washes her hands 150 times a day. Because for her, a stuffy head is a career ender. Now, I don't want to say Bosco's owner is a bad throw, but he gets the Frisbee stuck in the tree so often that Bosco learned to not only set up the ladder, but climb it as well.
All right, Dom.
You know what they should do? They should just leave the ladder up all the time or switch to throwing a tennis ball. The difference between little girl gymnasts and cats is that little girl gymnasts don't always land on their feet. Do you wish you possessed the smooth moves and mad skills of Little Jimmy Jammers? Well, now you can with Little Jimmy Jammers Teaches the World to Dance home video instruction course. Within hours, you'll be doing the Jimmy, the Jim Jim, the Jam Jam, the Jim Jam, the Sweet James, the Jam Time Express, and the Jimmy Jam just like Little Jimmy Jammers himself. Whether you're young or simply young at heart, Little Jimmy Jammers wants to see you out on the dance floor and kicking it. It's Jammer time. Yeah, looks like this Motor City kitty has a case of cat scratch fever. And once he got his paws on a guitar, he was bound to let it out. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a feline fandango. Ringo is proof positive that it does not matter what you put in the furnace as long as it's hot enough to burn it off. Each chin-up burns one kibble. Ringo gets one kibble for each chin-up, and that is why he is a lean, mean, feline machine. Coming up, a skater from Dogtown. And a playa from Funky Town. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. What happens when you combine dominant physical prowess with canine cunning? Easy. You get these athletes.
Earl feels the pressure.
Yeah, if you were born in Dogtown and on top of that, you are a dog, there is a certain expectation of skateboarding ability, folks. Earl needs to relax and just enjoy the ride. You can't be uptight and skateboard. That's what cars are for. Now, it may not be the highest paying job in the world, but Cricky is the best at it. He spends all day posing for piñata sculptors. Bandit loves basketball. Yuri loves soccer. So whenever these two get together, it's a battle of wills as to which game they end up playing. Now, Yuri will start off playing basketball, but when he slips into a soccer zone, Bandit is right there to remind him what game they have agreed on. If only there was a game that combined Bandit's love of basketball with Yuri's love of soccer. Yes! But there isn't, so these two are just going to have to work it out. Now, you may prefer him in the full demon makeup, the metallic spiked costume, the pyrotechnics, and the 50,000 gigawatt amp his electric guitar is plugged into up on stage. But after the show, he likes to kick back in his robe and slippers and unwind with an acoustic. Let us not forget that under all that showmanship, there beats the heart of a true artist. You know the old adage, everything old is new again. Let's hit rewind. While waiting for the back-ordered shag carpet to come in, Janice and her dogs discovered the joy of bare concrete. And this ride's not just for one person, it's fun for the whole family. You know, what do you say we cancel that carpet order? Now, they can say it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight and the dog, all they want. But when it comes to tug-of-war, it is the size of the dog in the fight. It's never a question of whether you are too old for the swing. It is a question of whether you are too big for the swing. Jeffrey is clearly too big for the swing. Getting in the wheel was fine for an overall cardio workout. Hercules was intent on really working his upper body, and for that, it was pretty much best to get under the wheel. Eat too many sunflower seeds and prepare to pay the price.
This is what my dog does when I walk out of the door.
Jillian here doesn't mind paying for the full wash and groom, but rather than pay for the blow dry as well, she prefers to just jump dry.
Jillian!
Gives her a more natural look, honey.
It may be a tradition to drop rose petals on the ground for the bride to walk on. But as far as little Karen was concerned, it was still littering. You see, in Karen's mind, there are just places you don't toss things to the ground, and, well, church was one of them. She's really gonna freak out when the bride tosses the bouquet. Heaven help us. Come on, if a turtle takes your food, you really can't blame anyone but yourself. It's not exactly like he could sneak up on you without you seeing him coming. Pick up your pace. It's good to chew your food thoroughly, but if a turtle gets there before you, well, you may be overdoing it. These little cars are just fine for pavement and smooth surfaces, but the second you take it off-road, buddy, you are asking for trouble. Now they're there'll be congestion all day as everyone slows down to take a look. You might want to consider taking an alternate route through the sandbox or perhaps around the picnic tables. Remember, for traffic and weather together on the 9s, keep it right here. Billy always forgets Mom's #1 rule. You can play with whatever you want to as long as you put it away when you're done. Now, luckily for Billy, he has a fastidious ferret named Hoinkus that takes Mom's #1 rule to heart. Now, if he could just teach Hoinkus to dust and run the vacuum, this place would be spotless. All kids know that playgrounds are for fun, and they just as soon spin until the cows come home. But the playground is also the place to learn the grown-up concept of consequences. If you want to dance, you got to pay the band, and if you want to spin, you got to find a place to land. Billy wanted a GPS for his car, a global positioning system. Instead, he got a DOG, a doggy on guard. It may not be as geographically accurate, but hey, you can't play fetch with a GPS, now can you? Coming up, 2 pups and a cup. And a bird in the hand. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. After years of kicking around in the minor leagues, these guys have been called up to the show because they're ready for the big time. Wenzel prefers boogie-woogie and ragtime, but he cleans it up for the leash and collar crowd. But when the leash comes off, oh, so do the gloves. This canine virtuoso really puts the pedals to the metal. The damper, una corda, and sostenuto pedals, that is. Lazy Jane got her nickname because she is the laziest pet owner on Earth. Not only did Lazy Jane go so far as to buy a skateboard for walks, but she makes the dog push it. And then she makes the dog pull it back up the hill when they're done. My, oh my, Lazy Jane. How you are aptly named. Now let this be a lesson to all you aerobics enthusiasts out there. Never exercise with your mouth full. Exercise and chewing don't mix. These clips are sure to make an impression on, hey, look, a butterfly! Oh, sorry, I'm so easily amused. So are these guys. If it is true that a comedian says funny things, and a comic says things funny, then this bird is twice as funny. In fact, he's hilarious. There is just something about a balloon that brings out the inner puppy in all of us. Despite being guard dogs who would just as soon bite an intruder in half as to look at him, when they see a balloon, they just want to frolic. Until they catch it and pop it, that is. If you're going to trespass at the McMurtry's, best bring a balloon. Usually when you see 2 pups fighting over something that's 3 letters long and starts with the letter C, that would be a C-A-T. Not a C-U-P. Either way, these guys are C-U-T-E. Okay? Hugo spent months working on the door. And when he finally got out and climbed up a little bit, he realized the view didn't really change all that much. Hillary is about to summit. Why did Hillary climb the cow? Because it was there. Coming up, the old dog in the sea. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People.
Isn't she cool?
People think Ben is wearing those sunglasses at the beach to look all cool and stuff.
Down the beach.
But in reality, Ben suffers from the most embarrassing condition a dog can get. Cataracts.
Good job.
See you next time.